Well, greetings and salutations, guys and girls. It's me, the off-grid warrior, and Ranger right here. He just rolled in as I was getting ready for the stream. There he is. Hey, buddy. We got his blankie. His streaming blankie is down, so all good. Okay. It's a little warm today, guys. I'm guessing since I've run out of batteries, I'm guessing it's probably in the early 90s in the cabin. Fortunately, there's a little bit of a breeze that's picked up in the last hour, so it's cooling down somewhat. But I'm gonna try not to move too fast in case I overheat. All right, who do we have here this afternoon? It's really it's nice. It's still bright and light outside, as you can see. This is all the natural light streaming in, and it's nice to have such long days. So much can be done with all the sunlight. So I'm enjoying it. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it and getting the most of the season while you can. Yeah, it's going to be dark and gloomy in a few months. We'll be quite different up here. Way to go to throw some negativity in there towards the end. All right. Okay, who we got here today? I see a few of the regulars. Good to see you guys and gals. Welcome. Mr. Artie for doing the best job, the most important job that apparently I don't do, telling people to smash the like button or blow it up, actually. Thank you, Mr. Artiford. Welcome. I see you haven't got to town. Did I miss something there? Oh, you're referring to getting a card off. Gotcha. No worries, man. Natal, greetings. Good to see you. You're rushing home. Be careful, You don't want to be on your phone rushing home, driving. I'm guessing you're driving if you're on your way home or yeah. Yes, the mountains are calling and I must go. Who else we got? Mr. Gas. Well, greetings, Mr. Gas. Good to see you. Were you in on the last stream? I forget. It's all a blur, folks. All a blur. Hello, Natal, Mr. Gas. 100 degrees at 7 p.m. Yeah, it's I forget where you are, Mr. Gas, but yeah. I think we might be somewhere in the mid to late 90s outside right now. 100 degrees in the yak. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Droidian, greetings. Good to see you, sir. Appreciate the shares, Droidian. I think you shared some of my links. Thank you. Okay. I see we still have a few people on the sidelines, the lurkers, and that's fine. You can lurk on the sidelines, but, feel free. We're all pretty welcoming here, so feel free to introduce yourself, tell us who you are, share a bit so, I can get to know you, or you could just hang out on the sidelines. That's okay. I like to hang out on the sidelines most of the time, so... There you go. Kevin. Greetings, Kevin. Okay, what else? Did I miss anything over there? Yeah. Well, hopefully everybody's doing well. Hopefully you've had a good weekend. It's been a moderate week for me up on the mountain and the doggos. A lot of running the dogs. I'm really glad that I enlarged the fenced-in area around the cabin. Things were definitely too small, as you guys know, for two dogs in a small fenced-in area. So they have the bigger area now, which is great. But it's so dry outside right now. Everything is a dust bowl. So, the dogs tear it up outside in the dust bowl. So, yeah, it's a bit dusty in the cabin too. I feel like I need to be constantly dusting and wiping things down in here. Because no matter how hard I try not to get it dusty inside the cabin, this dog just brings it in all the time. I literally will see him come inside the cabin, and you know, he does the big dog shake, and it's literally a plume of dust that just comes off him and then settles everywhere. So it's been interesting with the two dogs interacting now. You know, Ranger's obviously being a little more, you know, well, Ranger's, the two of them are very friendly, but, you know, Ranger, they play a lot. There's a lot of rolling around in the dirt. So that's my dilemma, you know. Princess problems, guys. Princess problems. Mr. Arvid. Whispering Vine Studio. Hello, OGW and everyone. Good to see you, Whispering Vines. I hope you're having a good weekend. I hope the weekend has been productive and creative for you. Okay, so today's video I think is about 30 minutes, 31 minutes long, somewhere around there. And I guess I should do what I do all the time. If there's any new folks out there that are new to the stream, perhaps the lurkers, what we typically do on the stream is I record my daily life up here on the mountain, some of my projects, and then I smash it together in a little video, and I share the video during the stream. And if you have any questions, even, you know, criticisms, constructive criticisms, feel free to put them in the chat. You know, I do watch chat as we roll the video. And I will be answering any questions and, you know, reading chat. So feel free to interact, so to speak. That's my hopes for the stream, is that, you know, people can ask questions and perhaps bring up some good ideas. If you see something I'm doing that doesn't make any sense, let me know. Drop it in chat. And I'm sure there'll be, well, let's just say this video probably... This video is a great example of what not to do when, you know, building a shed or building or constructing anything. This is going to be a great example of how, what not to do. All right, I'll leave it at that. Okay, what else we got? Is the fenced area good for holding them when you're gone now? Yeah, Mr. Artiford, I can, you know, leave the dogs up here. I need to make some modifications to my gate because every time I lock the dogs in, I wire the gate up, which is probably, you think after 3 years of being up here, or 2 years with the dog, you think I would have figured out a better locking mechanism on the gate, something a little more convenient. But nope, 2 years later, I'm still putting wire through and, you know, wiring up the gate every time I lock it. So lock it. So other than that, the fence is pretty secure, and yeah, it's doing the job for sure. Okay, yeah, so there were a couple things that happened this week, but you'll see them in the video. We'll cover it in the video. So I think what I'm going to do, guys, is my kettle is just boiled. I'm going to be having some very hot black coffee, even though it's like 90 degrees in here. You know, it's that time of the day. It's time for some coffee. So I'm going to get that rolling as we roll the video here. Did I miss anything? No. Okay. Let's get the video going. Thank you guys for swinging by. I appreciate it. And gals, thank you for popping in. It's good to see some of the regulars. And did I set this up? Okay, awkward silence. There we go. Okay, well, let me know, guys. You know, as we start rolling the video, let me know if the audio is good and if you guys can hear everything. Give me an audio check. All right. Oh, let's go. Okay, you guys ready to do this? You gonna be able to help today, or are you guys just gonna play around all day? Yeah, never mind. Okay, guys, today's a big day. Finally start on this, what shall we call it? The side shed. Little side action, my side shed. Yeah, so we're going to build some sort of structure on the side of the cabin here, guys. And really this little storage slash side shed, that's a mouthful, I don't know why. It's going to be for whatever, you know. I got a lot of stuff that needs to be undercover. It's funny, the original intention was a minimal lifestyle, focusing on living more than stuff. And in the 3 and a bit years I've been up here, it's like, where's all this stuff coming from? So, yeah, modern man problems, guys, accruing all the stuff that eventually just becomes a burden. Well, it's got to go somewhere. So that's the plan for this thing. I have a few issues, clearly there's a roof above it. And guys, in winter, it's a whole different ball game up here, all right? Let's just say there's a lot of white stuff that ends up on the top of that roof that has to regularly be dragged off. So whatever comes off that roof is going to land on this roof, the eventual roof over here, and is then going to have to come off that roof, and there'll be a big pile of snow right here. So I need to factor in these things when I build it. Also, there's a considerable amount of thaw and snow that ends up on the back here that'll want to flow this way. So there's a few factors to ponder here, guys, but like most projects up here, I don't do a lot of pondering. I just do. Yeah, and then I regret my decisions after the fact. So, but hey, it's called organic building, guys. I've described that before. That's my excuse. So, yeah, I'm just going to get going here, guys. I've got minimal materials and zero budget. I've got to use what's laying around here. I have all sorts of posts and poles and stuff and pieces. We're gonna bring it all into play today. Talking about play. Okay. Let's get going, guys. This is how we roll around here. Oh yeah, they'll be fine. Yeah, I don't even need to measure, guys. I just decided where these posts are going to go and what the angle is going to be. Just like that. Perfect. It's even better than a ladder. Okay guys, as you know, I'm a huge advocate of safety first, alright? Always wear appropriate safety equipment, eye protection, body protection when using a chainsaw. Extremely important, guys. It's nothing to play around with, alright? Remember, safety first, guys. Don't do like me. Oh no, yeah. It's a good time to run out of gas, guys. Actually. Okay, guys. Doing a little tester here, looking at the angle of the slope, the pitch, and yeah, not really liking it. I'd like to see more of a steeper angle on this roof. So yeah, okay. We've got a couple options here. I can trim off more of these uprights, these support poles. Trim some off, drop this down. Or I can bring this pole, attach it to the front here. I would bring it out here, giving me a little more support. That's going to be tough to gutter. I don't know. Trim poles or put this beam over here on the outside. Attach it to the outside. I think structurally it's stronger this way. What to do? I don't know, Captain. Decisions. It's too many decisions. Okay, Ranger, you gotta move, buddy. This is the owie stuff happens now. Guys, remember, protective. Definitely don't be doing anything like this barefoot, alright? I think I've made up a new strategy, boys. Okay. So many decisions to make, gents. I need two fairly decent flat areas. That's going to be impossible. This roof is not going to be perfect, I can tell you that. We'll do our best with what we got. Okay, something like that. Watch out, boys. Yes, I know. I know what you're thinking. Oh my gosh. That guy needs to drink some water. I agree. Let's go get some water. Okay, looking good. 2 log screws per post. We're golden. Oh yeah, guys. I think that's looking much better. What do you guys think? Did somebody just do a turd? Oh boy, stinky, buddy. Okay, so that overhang is a little more acceptable in my books, guys, and slope a little bit better. Anyways, I'm not sure how much more I'm going to get done. I'd like to. It's getting late afternoon. It's probably about 5 p.m. right now, and the boys really do need their run. They've been cooped up in here all day with me, so I think we're going to try and wrap some of this up and then go for the doggo run. You know, we got to de-energize the dogs before nighttime. Well, top of the morning to you, gentlemen. Yep. It's a beautiful morning. Are you guys gonna be able to let me drink my coffee in peace? Yeah, go get that ball. Well, folks, yeah, another day, another dollar. Actually, I'm kidding about the dollar. But yeah, I'd like to make a lot of progress today. Hopefully get a roof on this cabin side shack that I'm building here. Yeah, a roof would be nice. Hopefully it works out. Hopefully I have enough metal in it. My calculations have been somewhat correct. Buddy, thank you. Ranger, can I just enjoy my morning coffee? Why don't I brought the ball so you guys could, maybe go somewhere and run around and play with ball, but it's like you've got to do it right on top of me. Why? Oh boy, that chain needs to be sharpened. Okay. Something like that. There's no going back now. Oh boy. Whatever that was just stung me. Whoopsie. Boy, who made the step ladder? It's super wobbly. Well, I think we're mostly done, guys. I don't think I'm going to get the metal on today. It's already 6:15 p.m. right now. I still need to get the, give the boys a run. And so I don't think I'm going to start on the metal, but let's take a look and see what's happening roof-wise. But if it can take me, it should be good to go. Oh yeah. Actually, what I like about this now is perhaps if I get a few more support, strengthen this roof up even more, I could stand here and actually pull snow off the roof much easier than doing it from down there. That'd be nice. Oh yeah. Kind of easier to get and maintain this gutter. Yeah, I like this. Definitely going to need some more supports, at least on this half, if I want to stand up here in winter and comfortably deal with snow. I don't know. We shall see. Sometimes I have ideas in my head, but they work out differently. Anyways. Okay, Mr. Ranger. What are we up to today? Any ideas? Well, guys, new day. Beautiful day. Blue skies, not a cloud to be seen. A gentle breeze. Absolutely loving it. Feeling super blessed. Today I get the medal on the Franken shed. And yes, I know there's no drip edge, there's no trim. We're using what I have on hand, and if I don't have it, it ain't gonna happen. That's how we roll up here, guys. Nothing you see being done here is what a professional would do, okay? Fortunately, I'm not trying to pretend to be a professional. We're organically building, guys. My dog's a great audience. Guys, thank you for listening to me. I know, I appreciate you guys. Okay, so we're going to trim up a little bit around the roof here and then start getting this metal on. Yes, I know you're going to see things that may not be good roofing practices when installing metal roofing, but I'm using what I have, whether that be screws or whatever. Okay, let's go. That's my excuse. I'm sticking to it. Awesome. Hey, what was that? A snap? I feel like I've created a great spot here for, you know, a bear. Yeah, I mean, even a cub could just climb up here now, and if my window's open like this, tear through the window and head inside. You know, I've definitely created an easier way up into the cabin for anything, actually. So we'll have to figure out some kind of wiring, maybe between the top of the post and the edge of the cabin here, something just to create a little more resistance here. I mean, not that that's even going to stop a curious bear. I mean, they're going to climb over anything, but I just feel right now I've made a nice little ledge for anything to just, you know, climb up here. Okay, let's test the shit out. Are you guys going to give me like 5 minutes before you start mauling me? Well, guys, there you have it. The Franken shed, I would say, is 90% done. Don't chew my chair. The Scout is turning out to be quite a chewer, guys. I can't leave anything of importance out here, especially overnight. I'll wake up and it'll be chewed. Anyways, guys, yeah, shed's done. And the next step here is I need to sink some kind of barricade in here. I need to scavenge around for metal, cut what I have, and figure out some type of metal barrier over here. I'd like to leave the top couple feet open just so I can have light and airflow in here. I don't really want to build a dark cave. I'd like to get as much light and airflow here as possible and still, you know, not have the weather affect what's inside here. So that's really the first thing that needs to happen here. And then I'm not sure if I have anything for guttering. Guttering's kind of important, so we're going to figure that out. And then I still haven't decided whether this is going to be a wood shed or a miscellaneous sundries shed, or maybe a dining room. I was just thinking it's actually quite nice in here. I could put a little table and some chairs, and I could dine out in the shed, the Franken shed. Franken shed dining room. It's a nice view from here. Hi, buddy. You guys ready for your run? Hey, you're dusty, huh? You're a dusty boy. Look at that. That's why the cabin is always so dusty inside. Look at that. You bring all that dust inside every single day. It's pretty thick in here. Oh yeah, we're scraping by. Ranger's very excited. That's what I call the bear zone down there. Oh buddy, it's a tight squeeze. It's a very tight squeeze. Oh man, I found the bush over here. Look at all these fatties. Nice. Nature's bounty. Guys, right now I'm like in the 360 zone. Like I'm in the perfect spot. Wherever I turn, I'm just picking huckleberries. Nice fatties too. We're getting there. It's almost more fun just sitting and eating them than it is actually picking and putting them in a container. These ones are good, hey buddy? What do you think? What do you think, guys? Have we picked enough? What do you think, Ranger? Do we have enough? Problem is, guys, I don't have a freezer, so, you know, it's fridge only and a small one. So, you know, it's pointless me picking or over picking. I just don't have the facilities to process or store them long term. So I think I'm kind of getting close. We'll mosey on out, pick a few more. Well guys, true story. I pulled my phone out of the pouch. I took a picture of a flower just down that bend over there. That's the last place I used it. Then I was in my van driving away and I realized, oh, where's my phone? Not that there's any signal up here or anything. I primarily use it for photographing, you know, capturing some pictures here and there. Anyways, yeah, phone, somehow I've dropped my phone out of the pouch. It was in the top here. I remember taking a stumble somewhere along over here. So I'm retracing steps. This is the third time. This is the third time retracing my steps between where I last used the phone for a snapshot. So yeah, if I lose the phone, I lose the phone. It's all the information on the phone, guys. It dawned on me, I haven't memorized a phone number in years. So, and I'm sure there's other stuff in the phone that I'm gonna encounter at times where I'm like, oh, that's on my phone. So anyways, I'm trying to retrace my steps. It's a little difficult in a forest. Retrace my steps between the last time I used it to take a picture and where my van is. So yeah. Here we are. We got our huckleberries, but we don't have a phone. I spent about 2.5 hours looking for that phone, and I really didn't have a lot of area to cover. You know, maybe 400 feet of trail that I had to backtrack multiple times, kicking rocks, digging around bushes. Could not find that phone. I don't know how it bounced out of this thing. Obviously it was open. I also keep the camera that I'm filming with now, both of them sit in this top pouch. So I did take a stumble at some point. Now I went down onto my knees, but I know where that happened and I checked that place thoroughly. So I don't know, guys. I don't really care so much about the phone as an item, as a piece of hardware, but it's just dawned on me, you know, driving back down here, was all the memories, photographs, videos I've taken. I've had that phone for about 6 years, and just a lot of memories, a lot of photographs, a lot of videos, guys, a lot of dank memes. And most importantly, contact numbers. Guys, I haven't memorized a phone number since, I don't know, maybe my early 30s. Yeah, smartphones did actually make me dumb. So I have got no numbers for anyone. And I also have a bunch of passwords that were saved on that phone on an app, a local app, a password keeper app, which isn't backed up anywhere. Actually, nothing on that phone is backed up, so just a lot of memories and data gone. But where, right? I have seen people absolutely traumatized after they lost their phone. That's not going to be the case here, but I'm sure something's going to pop up and I'm going to be like, oh, where's my phone? I need it. I haven't had a cell phone on my phone for a cell contract for many years, but I do use it when I'm traveling. If there's free Wi-Fi, if I need to check messages and I can get Wi-Fi somewhere, you know, that's where the phone comes in handy. Yeah, I gave up on cellular companies years ago, but yeah, I don't know what to do, guys. Like I say, something's gonna pop up where I realize, man, that was on my phone. So I don't know. I marked the area fairly well. I mean, I can go back. I may do that. Who knows? But 2.5 hours was more than I could handle looking for my phone, and you just got to move on. I need to. I'm hungry. Hopefully, the chickens have laid some eggs. It's been really bad with the chicken eggs lately, guys. 2 eggs a day, 1 egg at times. So 5 hens and 1 or 2 eggs. Not good. So hopefully there's some eggs in there. There'll definitely be some quail eggs. We'll chow down on some quail eggs and maybe some 2-minute noodles. And then I've got a lot of video to edit. A lot of clips I need to start editing for tomorrow's stream. So we start that. It'll take a few hours. I might do a little bit of crying now that, you know, it's setting in that I lost a lot of data and memories on my phone. No, it's not that bad, guys, but it is a bit of a downer. It's pretty crazy the amount of data that we have on our phones nowadays. You know, those that have smartphones and are reliant on them. Not just memories and photographs, but contact numbers and who knows what else. So I don't know. There are a few apps on there. I don't know. I need to figure out how I'm going to get them running now and what the passwords are and yada yada. So whatever. I'm hungry. I'm actually hangry. I'm hangry and sad a little bit. Okay, let's move on. Okay, ladies, let's see if you've been good to me or not. I'm guessing probably not. Please tell me you have some eggs for me. Do we have eggs? Oh my gosh, nothing in there. Are you kidding me? Ladies, it's like 4:30 p.m. There's no eggs. You've laid nothing. Come on, please. Quail. I see a few eggs over there. My gosh, I've changed their food. I have been fermenting some food for them too. So I've been giving them fermented food for about a week and a half now. I don't know what's going on with these chickens. You know, 1 or 2 eggs a day is not enough, ladies. Like, I don't know what the deal is, but something needs to change, alright? Why? What is going on? Okay, well, I guess we will gather a few quail eggs and go from there. I'd like to encourage you ladies to do something. Chili flakes. I think that was my last resort. I read somewhere that chili flakes might bring on some laying. So I don't know. We'll give that a go. I do have some chili flakes. Good luck, ladies. Okay. Hopefully I'm back. Let me know if the audio is working. Audio check. Yeah, boy, I edited that video in the early hours of this morning, and seems like a bit of a downer towards the end of that video. I apologize. That was me ranting a lot about my phone. I know it seemed pretty silly now that I'm actually watching it. I didn't watch this video like I should have after editing it, but yeah, guys, apologies. That was me carrying on a lot about a phone, which is kind of silly. But anyways, I think I made some incorrect edits towards the end of that video. It's definitely a bit of a downer. Anyways, okay, what did I miss? What did I miss? Audio good. Thank you, family plan. Mr. Gas, good. Cut some vegetation and throw it in the pen. Well, Mr. Artiford, I do regularly give the chickens, the hens, a lot of weeds and greens from around. Whenever I walk past something that looks juicy, I typically pull it and give it to the hens. Actually, today I gave them a lot of service berries. I have many service berries around me, and they're just juicy and plump right now. They're actually starting to turn. So I regularly throw, handfuls of service berries. So the hens get quite a variety of food, I think. I mean, they could get more better greens. I'd love to have them just cruising around the cabin, but they're not going to last long if I let them free range. So it's just been a real bummer with these hens. I don't know, guys. Somebody, I don't know, at some point, somebody may have suggested that chili flakes can sometimes encourage and bring on some laying, get them back into laying. I don't know. But I'm trying everything except the chili flakes. That's going to be my next move here. I believe I do have some chili flakes up there, yep. I really depend on the eggs, guys. Like I've said before, keeping hens and chickens for me is not a novelty. It's strange.
Call from?
That's sorry, guys. Apologies. I now that I don't have a phone, I have my tablet on, and I just had a phone call from Florida, which is weird. I don't really know anyone in Florida. Well, I do know someone, but they wouldn't call me. That's for sure. Anyways, where are we? Whispering Vine Studios. Have you had thunderstorms that will stop laying? Whispering Vines, that's really interesting. I have not heard that before. I think it's been some time since we've had thunderstorms, and I think the egg issue started even before we had those, which I don't know, may have been like a couple weeks ago now, somewhere around there. That's interesting though. What did I miss here? Mr. Gas, 10 hens and I got 0 eggs in about a week. Wow. That's, man, that's not good. Chicken soup, Mr. Artiford, no ways, man. Don't talk about my girls like that, all right? That's not an option. They're still young hens. There's no way. My young hens, they're like teenagers. No, they're a little older than teenagers. Yeah, no, they're older teenagers. The speckled Sussex I have there is a woman, a middle-aged woman in chicken years, but the blondes are definitely still healthy teens. There's no ways I'm turning them into soup. Banish that thought, Mr. Artiford. Stephen Zavechin, whole corn feed. That's all you need. Oh, Stefan, excuse me. Stefan, I don't think I've seen you before. Welcome. That's whole corn feed. Well, that might be something I could try. I'll definitely file that in the back here and give that some thought next time in town. If the budget allows it, I may try that option. Whole corn feed. We're talking about just dry corn, right? Okay. Stefan, their regular feed and whole corn. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I might consider that. What else did I miss here? Stefan, they'll lay all winter too. Well, I don't know about that. Whole corn. We're talking about hard whole corn. Correct? Something you'd buy like in a feed store. Family plan. Considering how much most of us have on our phone, you handled losing your phone well. Well, family plan, what I didn't include in that video was me crying. No, I didn't cry. But yeah, like I said, it's really just memories, photos and videos, and that's really all that I miss on that phone. Yeah, and again, guys, I apologize if I never call you. If there's anybody watching the stream and I never call you, you know why now. Your numbers are gone. Mr. Artiford, a little vinegar in the water helps with balanced diet breakdown also. A little vinegar in the water. Okay, you guys are giving some... that's an option. I have vinegar, white vinegar, in the water. Well, we can try that. We can try that. For the last couple of weeks, they've been getting fermented food, which they gobble up, and that hasn't changed a thing either. So, vinegar is an option. It's something I have on hand. Stefan, I'm from the old cabin building days before. Okay, well, thanks, Stefan. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, that was a while ago. Thanks for still popping in and visiting, man. Things have changed a little bit since then. Different projects. A little bit older, a little wiser, a little slower. Dried hard whole corn, yes. Raked out of cobs and bagged. Okay, well, I'll keep that in mind. Whispering Vine Studio, yes, it's not the phone, it's what's on it. Yeah. I do recall a few years ago watching a young girl pretty much break down and in a traumatic in a traumatic moment that lasted hours and actually into a few days after losing her phone. I remember thinking, wow, this. I hope this young lady doesn't harm herself because she's lost her phone. So yeah, no, it wasn't quite that bad, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of video and photos, and like I said, I don't back anything up on the cloud. I'm not a fan of doing that, you know. But yeah, a lot of photos and videos gone. You know, over the years, the phone fills up, and then I'll delete stuff that's insignificant, photos and videos, and so over the years, I've kept all the stuff that's dear and important, or important to me, video and photo wise. So there was a lot of the stuff that I've kept on the phone after years of deleting stuff, and so all that is now gone. Anyways, this isn't a stream about losing your phone. Droidian, too bad you can't have somebody call your phone. Yeah, Droidian, there's no cell phone signal up here. There is, I think you need to drive at least about, let me think about this, maybe about 26 miles in order to get, in one direction, 26 miles to get cell phone signal around here. I've mentioned before there's only a handful of radio stations that come in AM and FM. There's probably about 2 or 3 FM stations that I can get clearly, and maybe 2 or 3 AM stations I can get clearly, and no cell signal. So, yeah, calling it would not be an option. Mr. Artiford, when you mow your lawn, throw clippings in the pen. You've seen my lawn, have you? Yeah. Stefan, I remember you making the log so the next would fit. I remember, like my life, things went wrong in my life. A long relationship collapsed. Yeah. Stefan, you know, that time of my life, I have it was a weird time because not only was it a time I'd never forget, a lot accomplished physically, a lot of freedom, a lot of wonderful things, building the log cabin, a very different lifestyle for me, a lifestyle change, a lot of good. But in that and while making those videos, there's just a lot of, well, maybe not in the beginning. There were signs in the beginning, but towards the end, just a lot of just psychological trauma and very difficult behaviors taking place and that I was dealing with. So it's a weird mixture of just a fantastic time in my life mixed with very dark and scary time as well. But of course you guys didn't see that while I was making those videos. So that's... I do have fond memories of that and building the log cabin. Something I'd like to do again. I did actually professionally build some log cabins in between. Of course, I wasn't filming or documenting. I actually walked away from YouTube for a while, for a few years, and was just kind of done with it and over. It's never really been a job for me, or I just did it for fun. And when the fun went, you know, I went. So. But yeah, that was an interesting time. Sounds like you, I remember my life. Yeah, you know, it's funny. Relationships collapsing are definitely milestones in one's life. But, you know, fortunately we get to move on and learn from our mistakes, right, Stefan? I don't know if it's Stefan or Stephen. I apologize if I'm getting that wrong or right. But, yeah. Fortunately, we learn from our mistakes and we move on. That's the most important thing, right? Whispering Vine Studio, the log cabin was beautiful. What was the size of it? Whispering Vines, thank you. Yeah, it was a very simple log cabin. I didn't know anything when I started that project. I kind of was lucky enough to have a gentleman spend a couple days with me, showing me the basics right in the beginning. Giving me explaining some techniques and things I had to do, and I had that for a couple days, and then I kind of had to go with that. So I'm very grateful for that. But it was a very small cabin. I think it was around 15 by 15 foot. So. And I never really finished it. I never did everything I wanted to that cabin. I wanted to build a deck and, a roof. I wanted to do a wraparound deck with a roof wrapped around the log cabin. It was a labor of love and joy, but also towards the end, some extreme hardships. But yeah, it was tiny. It was tiny. Since having built cabins professionally and for a company that builds log cabins, going out in the road and constructing log cabins, I definitely, it was the Wild West for me in how I built that cabin. There's definitely better practices and better ways to do things that one learns. But in the beginning, it was definitely the Wild West constructing that project. Okay. I think I answered your question right, Whispering Vine. So it was 15 by 15. It was a little bit smaller than that. I built it because at the time I was in the state of Washington. And if some of you have ever tried to build anything in the state of Washington, well, if you want to live like a free man in Washington State, good luck. You really need to find a county with little to no building codes, and that's fortunately what I found. But I purposely kept it under, I think the size I had to keep it under was 300 square foot. If I built anything larger than 300 square foot, it would go into a category of needing to be permitted. So that's why I built it at that size. It was like just under 300 square foot. But of course, that wouldn't have meant anything because that's just the floor space. And they also factor in if you do a second floor, which I did do. I had a mezzanine area, which was the bedroom at the top. And that added square footage to it. But yeah, you got to factor those things in if you want to go and try and attempt to live like a free man, or have limited involvement with the powers that be. You've got to look at counties and states and what they require for building codes. I went off on a tangent there, but hopefully that explains the size of the cabin, why I chose to build it that size. Stefan, I admired your work ethic, your skill, your perseverance. I was glad when you came back. I honor your intentions. Looking forward to you here. Well, thank you, Stefan, man. I appreciate that. Or Stephen. I appreciate that, man. Those are kind words. Thank you. Family plan. Keep those good memories. Let those hard ones fade away. Yeah. Yeah, I don't live with a lot of regret. Regret is one of those things that will eat away at you over time. Even though you may think that you've shaked old memories and regret away. Sometimes you think you've done that, but you can still hold on to them. And I think it's safe to say, that I don't hold any regrets anymore. I don't hold them dear. I don't let them burden me anymore. I've given them away, and I may think about them on an odd occasion, for a brief second, but there's nothing anymore that weighs me down, regret-wise. So I would say to anybody who's harboring regrets or perhaps animosity towards persons in the past, peoples, persons, places, if you're hanging on and you find yourself constantly harping on about how you dislike somebody or want to, constantly remember a bad situation and constantly bring it up, I would say work hard at moving past that, because those things will burden you and affect you every single day. course, what do I know? I'm just some weirdo living up in a mountain. Okay. Stefan, any way you want to say it. Okay. I'd rather say it the right way, Stephen. Okay. You got to help me out now. Is it Stefan or Stephen? Maybe Stefan would have an A at the end. Mr. Odiford, I'm a total master of relationships, old and still single. Well, I don't know. I think there's benefits to I don't know. I'm gonna have to workshop this one, Mr. Odiford, before I answer it. I have to remind myself that everything I say online stays forever. Yeah. I can delete it, but chances are it's still out there. So, yeah, I was going to say that there's an advantage to being single, but I would say the advantages perhaps the advantages outweigh the disadvantages. Yeah. Wow. I could carry on now for a bit, guys, but I think I won't. I'll rein myself in before I get too far down this one. I think here I go. I think sharing a special moment with somebody significant in your life is far more enjoyable. It's nice to do things on your own, but it's way better to do things with a significant other or somebody you care for, that's dear to you, someone you love. I think it's more enjoyable. I can sit on a mountain and watch a sunset or a sunrise or see some beautiful scenery, and that's great. But being able to share that moment with someone else is, I think, far more enriching and far more fulfilling and meaningful. Okay, I'm definitely going to keep quiet now. Whispering Vine Studio, do you think a single person could handle 10 or 12-foot logs? That is an idea of mine. 10 or 12-foot logs. Whispering Vines, I'm going to say, yeah, that's definitely possible. Logs, diameter of logs come into play. A log this size, I'm clearly not using any numbers here. A log this size and 10 foot, and a 10-foot log that size, and a 10-foot log that size is considerably different in weight. So, what's the diameter of the logs? I would say that, if I was building something with 12-foot logs, 15-foot logs, decent size, I wouldn't have a problem building that. One person could. Now, there's also equipment that can come into play, cable, block and tackle, pulleys, winches. There's a way to get around issues moving big logs with one person, but I wouldn't call a 10 or 12-foot log, big. Unless it's, one of those, something out of Alaska, this size. What did I miss here? Mr. Artiford, if God can forgive, you can. Let it all go, yeah? Yep. Let it go, gentlemen. Let it go. Yeah, these things are just weights. When you hang on to these issues, guys, they just become a weight on your shoulders. You'll never experience any kind of true freedom. You can pretend that you have freedom, but as long as you're carrying the weight on your shoulders, even if it's something you don't talk about or think about often, they're still weights, and you need to shed. You need to do whatever it takes to shed those weights. And if you owe somebody an apology, then give that person that apology. If you have something festering in your past, and you're now at a point where you realize the silliness, maybe you're young and dumb, If that person's still around, find that person. If it's not going to hurt that person, apologize to them. If you can't go to them, email them, write them a letter, apologize, and put that incident to rest. That's how you move on. It's kind of critical with moving on, guys. You've got to, if you've left damage in your past, fix it. Be considerate, but fix it. Apologize to that person, and then you can move on. That's shedding that weight. Okay. Oh, Stephen. Okay. Gotcha, Stephen. Thank you, man. You clarified that now. Yeah, sometimes that pH, depending on what country you're from, the pH can change that name. So yeah, Stephen, gotcha. Thank you. Mr. Artiford, lighting. Oh, lighting. Is it getting dark in here, guys? I agree, if they share your dreams as well, that's the hard part. Yeah, well, this is, oh boy, do I want to go into this. Let me just get some more lights on the subject matter here, guys. Fixing the ISO. There we go. Hopefully that helps, guys. Guys and gals. I agree, if they share your dreams as well, that's the hard part. Well, that's hopefully as we get older, we're able to see things a lot easier, see personality traits that may not be ideal. Boy, am I going to share a lot here. Let's just say when I was a young man, I was very good at running towards the red flags, guys. When I saw a red flag, and I suffered from this way into probably my mid-30s. When I saw a red flag, I ran towards it. If something was going to burn me, I'd want to, touch and play with the flame. So now, with a little more time under my belt, I've learned to recognize the red flags. I know myself a lot better. So, not making the same mistakes with, choosing somebody that may not be compatible. It's not easy. This sort of lifestyle, living up in a mountain, it's not only physical, but it's, for the most part, quite a minimalist lifestyle. I think for a lot of modern people, particularly women and guys, I'm not an expert, okay, on this. This is just my opinions, obviously, but I think a lot of modern women and men, but I'm talking as a guy, talking about relationships. A lot of modern women, particularly in the West and Western civilization, are very much wrapped up in material items. And I'm having second thoughts now about discussing these topics. You got to make good decisions, guys. You got to be honest with yourself and make good decisions. I'm going to leave it there. See, I reined myself in there, guys. I was walking to the ledge. And then I realized, oh boy, I'm way too close to the ledge here. That's called wisdom, gents. Learning when just to keep quiet. Make good decisions. Be honest. Be honorable. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Artifer, don't pull me into these rabbit holes. Okay, Mr. Gas, it's getting dark in there. Hopefully it's lighter, guys. Stephen, I'd rather have a girlfriend to partner with than being alone. Not any girl, woman, but finding someone with, say, 20% similar interest would be a start. Lol. Yeah, guys, that's probably the most important thing. You have to, actually, here, in a nutshell, you need to have at least the same or similar end goal. There can be some stuff in between, but a good relationship is going to be both of you same page, same end goal. And you need to figure out how to establish in the beginning if the end goal is the same. Because guys, if the end goal isn't the same, it's not going to work out. I'm not even talking about all the drama and situations that happened before that, and you know what us as modern men and modern women, the things going on constantly vying for our attention outside of a relationship. But you've got to figure out if the end goal, if both of you are working towards the end goal, then you're like the power team. If the end goal is not the same, you got a problem. Wow, we're going off into the weeds. Family plan. I think a large bear just passed by your window because your lighting just dimmed. I think it's clouds, guys. I hope it's clouds. Yeah, there's a big cloud bank behind. But thanks. For a split second there, family plan, I was a little concerned. You got me. Add to the logs question. Age of builder. Hang on, did I? I'm trying to decipher that one, Stephen. Add to the logs question. Age of builder. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. Angel does it senior SR. Angel does. Cheers from Oregon. Greetings. That's a new name. Welcome. Question, if you don't mind me asking, what country are you located? I'm in the country of Montana. Family plan. Good instinct. Shut it down. Yeah. Exactly, family plan. Shut it down. Shut it down. Quickly. Mr. Artiford, I recently just started texting with an old girlfriend. I told her if I ever said or did anything wrong during our dating, I was sorry. She said thank you for that. Okay, way to go, Mr. Artiford. Yeah, I think in certain circles that's called clearing the wreckage of your past. Okay. Awesome. Guys, we're all over the map on this one, right? We're covering all topics, like how not to build a shed, how losing a phone can be traumatic for some, not me. Relationship advice. I'm clearly not the guy to give out relationship advice. Anyways. Whispering Vine Studio, age of builder, lol. Middle-aged but physically fit. Whispering Vines, it's very possible. What you're describing there, working with logs that size, I don't think you'd have a problem. I don't think you'd have a problem. Yeah. Okay, what else we got you guys and gals? I'm relying on you at this point. It does seem dark in here. What is going on? Hang on, guys. I'm going to go outside, and I'm going to remove the piece of metal I have against my window here, which helps with blocking the heat. So give me a second. I'll be back. Intermission. Oh boy, I ran out there. I felt so bad. Scott was, as he saw me come out the door, he was like, "God, dinner time." It is round about his dinner time now. That guy, Scout, I'm very concerned, guys. This is a dog I think that's going to possibly eat me out of house and home. He has an appetite like nobody's business. He will consume a giant bowl of food in, 15 seconds. He just inhales it, and then he will look up at me like, he needs more. So it's going to be interesting getting through winter with two dogs for sure. Stephen, I loved a long visit in Eureka, MT, and almost moved there in 2014. Yeah, Stephen, Eureka is a very nice area. I would recommend it for anybody who wants, to go somewhere good and nice. Eureka has experienced over the last few years a little bit of an issue. Close to Eureka is a Kalispell, and the name eludes me right now. I forget, guys. Apologies. For some reason, Whitefish. Whitefish is the town I'm thinking of. So Whitefish is a beautiful little town. It has a ski resort, a ski mountain. But sadly, over the years, and it's right next to the border of Canada, sort of northwest Montana. A beautiful little town, but unfortunately, like anything in this country, in the US, that's beautiful and small and hidden, eventually people from other places want to move there. And what happened in Whitefish is, after a certain amount of riots that we had a few years ago and some other issues, the flu issue and so on, a lot of people from, I call them less than desirable states, fled up to Whitefish and Kalispell. And in a space of like 5 or 6 years, Whitefish and Kalispell have changed considerably. It's to say there's a lot of foreign license plates to be seen in both places nowadays, particularly in summer and spring and even winter now. A lot of people from other states have fled up there buying properties, and so it's driven prices up. And unfortunately, Eureka has caught some of the overflow from Whitefish. Because property is now so ridiculously expensive around Whitefish, property prices have been driven up. What has happened is some of those people who still want to be in the general area have now looked to places like Eureka and so on. So you have the overflow starting to affect places like Eureka, but it's still a good spot to be. Okay. Guys, hang on. I forget. Remember, this is just our secret, all right? Right. What a difference. Loving it. Okay. Now I can actually read without causing pain to my face. Okay, are you going to add a small floor along the back of the lean-to across the cabin side? Mr. Artiford, I don't know how much I want it complicated in that space. The problem is anytime when you live out in the boonies, anytime you put a floor down or anything with a space or a gap, all the critters want to live in it. So I don't want to create too much of like a critter resort out on the side of the cabin. I already have a critter resort on this side of the cabin, the side that I keep all my logs, my cut firewood for winter. Firewood piles, even if you stack them neatly, especially if you stack them neatly, are great places for things like mice and even the occasional I don't know, squirrels will get in there. They just love the little nooks and crannies in wood piles. So I'm really trying to avoid or build another critter resort on the other side. So whatever I do in there, there's going to be some shelving. I have some plastic shelves, which I really don't like. Plastic shelves look horrible, but I brought them out of my storage unit. So I have them, and I'll probably use them there on that side as some kind of shelving or not. And I'm all over the place. But I just don't like to build a lot of nooks and crannies around the cabin, giving critters homes to live in. Hopefully that answers your question. I do need to do some kind of platform or level platform in there. I'm going to keep it really simple so I can stack totes towards the back. I do need to have some kind of level platform, but I want to avoid building critter homes for critters. Okay, mix with water to fill him up more. I do, Mr. Artiford. I actually take his dry food and I mix it with water. Soften it up for him. Droidian, here in lower Midwest, guys automatically assumes gals too. Here in the lower Midwest, guys automatically assumes gals. Sorry, Droidian. I'm having like a blonde moment or something. I'm not following that one. Can you say that again in like Neanderthal for me? Kevin, all the recent additions to the cabin area, maybe it's time to do some more expansion, give you more space and dogs more running room. Kevin, I think I'm done with expansion. I don't want to get bigger. I think we're good. I think. I don't. This project up here has already got bigger than what I wanted it to be. So I'm putting the block on any more building here. I don't want to invest more. I don't want to build more. I want to keep this as small as possible. The problem with that sort of creep, Kevin, is if I keep on adding on and building, we just go, and eventually everything up here is going to be controlling me, and the project's going to be bigger than the freedom. So I think at this point I've got all the space I need. I'm not going to outgrow this space, and it's not going to get any bigger. Okay. Give Scott small portions, still give him the same amount, but divide it up. Give 10 to 15 minutes, then a little more. Huh. I'll ponder that, Kevin. Not a bad idea. I mean, I can give that a try. What are you saying? What is that going to do for him? Just slow down his eating, or am I training him to eat less? Is that the general idea there? Mr. Artiford, I was thinking maybe tote size floor off the ground. Yeah, I need to do some kind of flat something there, at least for totes, and then stacking totes. Kevin, professor in the house with the sophisticated glasses. Yeah, guys, scary. I mean, I look at myself now, and I'm starting to see my dad. Not that that's a bad thing, but yeah, is what it is. My dad was a good guy. He was a good man. Mr. Artiford, Kevin, off-grid scientist. Yeah, I don't know about that. Very little science that goes on up here, guys. It's mainly this is how we operate up here. Brute force, and then wondering why I didn't take my time or do things slower or think about it more. That's how we get things done up here, guys. We just brute force everything. We'll see how much longer I can do that for. Stephen, okay, where are we? They bring their ideologies that made them leave in the first place to new places, post-flu, yeah. New York came and bought up Southeast Connecticut, where I'm from. NJ bought up Tennessee. Yeah, well, that's how it works. Unfortunately, Stephen, when places get ruined, the people that ruin those places then they want to go somewhere else. After they've ruined where they're at, then they want to go somewhere else and ruin that place. And I know some people may get upset with me or feel I'm being a little bit harsh, but that's the example I've seen in real life over and over and over again. That's how it goes. Prove me wrong. Mr. Artiford, until you find another dog. No, Mr. Artiford, I'm done with dogs. I mean, it's problematic having 2 dogs. I'm done. Thank you, though. Droidian, if you say hello guys to a group of people, it assumes the women too. Oh, okay, gotcha, Droid. Gotcha. Okay, where are we? Did I miss anything, guys? I apologize, folks, if I missed anything. Any of your chats over there? I'm going to use the excuse of I didn't have my glasses early on. Everything is really blurry now. So... Yep. Okay, what else we got? Any more questions? I think we covered quite a lot today, guys. From shed making to relationships. Stephen, were you influenced by Dick Pronicker's lifestyle and cabin builds? Well, Stephen, I'm going to say yes. Yes. I do recall the first time I ever watched anything in a documentary style. I don't know why I'm using air quotes. The first time I ever watched a self-documentary style of a man out in the woods building anything on his own was Dick Pronicker's video or series. I think I may have been in my early 20s. And actually, I do remember, just a side story here, at the time I was working in the private yachting industry. Yachts, 120, 150, 200 foot, big private yachts. And I remember I was actually in Fort Lauderdale. It was off time. I think we were in a yard having work done on one of these big yachts, and I was watching cable TV. I was still fairly new to the States, and I was just in awe of having 120 channels, which I thought was quite amazing, coming from a country that had 2 television stations. I know I had hundreds. It was a little overwhelming, but I do remember sitting on a yacht, a multi-million-dollar yacht, and watching videos. I've always had an interest in sort of survival living, or out in the boonies, living wild. I mean, it's always been an interest of mine. But I do remember sitting on a big yacht getting into those series at the time of Dick Pronicker building his cabin. And the reason why I'm telling you the story is that you can imagine the contrasting worlds here, right? I'm on, I don't know, $10, $12 million yacht, not my yacht, just working as crew, watching this very simple way of life. And for some reason, that always appealed to me. So I'm going to say yes, he probably did has always been in the back of my mind. I mean, there's a lot of other things that I've watched and taken in over the years, but I would say Dick was probably one of the first guys out there that I paid attention to doing these sort of self-documentary style filming. So yeah, a legend, an absolute legend. Where are we? Mr. Artiford, are you feeling any more confident about an overnight trip yet? I I don't know what, and leaving the dogs behind. I mean, if I go anywhere, the dogs are going to have to come with me right now. I've never left the dogs overnight. That's a tough one, Mr. Hardyford. I don't know. I feel like if I'm going to, I can get the chickens can get by in, you know, for 4 or 5 days, 5 days at the most. But the dogs are an issue. So I think at this point I'm comfortable. If I have to go somewhere, unfortunately, both dogs are going to have to come with me in my van, which is not ideal. That's why I say this second dog, the layer of complexity with dog number 2 now has instantly changed the lifestyle somewhat. And I really need to train. Scout has turned out to be worse than Ranger when it comes to running away. He will see a deer and he'll just immediately start running and chasing after it. I can be right next to him whistling and shouting. He won't even turn around. He's one-track mind. He just goes. What has happened, though, is apparently Scout always comes back, which I've learned now. I just let him go. I cross my fingers and say, well, he'll appear in 15, 20 minutes, which he always does. Ranger, on the other hand, when he does that, typically he can be gone all day. He'll disappear and he's gone. But he's not as prolific as Scout with running away. So right now, going anywhere with these dogs, hiking, camping, it's very difficult managing 2 dogs on leashes. I don't know if you guys have ever tried to do that with 2 big dogs, especially if you haven't spent time training them. Clearly, my dogs are a lot like me. I've given them. I appreciate freedom. I like feeling like a free man, and I've given my dogs a lot of that too. Okay, Mr. Artifact, Alone in the Wilderness. I have all the vids. Love them. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I think those. If I could have that on like a CD somewhere, I would. It's been years since I've watched Dick Pronica. I would love to. I'd love to watch all his stuff again. You've got me thinking, Stephen. Yeah, it'd be nice to go over again. Whispering Vine Studio. Dick Pronica was in his 50s when he built his cabin. Yeah. 50s is. I mean, I was just about to go on a whole nother topic here relating to age and that, but people are getting sicker and they're getting older faster and they're degrading a lot sooner, foods, unhealthy lifestyles, Kraft macaroni and cheese, cans of soda, all that stuff far more prolific. So, it's really sad. It's really sad. It's been a while since I've been to a large, big box store, but I think of going into the store at times and seeing people that are, appear to be in their 40s that are, in some kind of mobility chair with weight issues. And I'll often, if I'm in a store, I'll look at what they're purchasing to eat. And this is why I say, Kraft macaroni and cheese, cans of Coca-Cola. And so Whispering Vine Studio, I think there's a lot less of that, in Dick Pronica's time. I mean, there was garbage food back then, but far less than what there is now. I know I'm going off on a tangent. I apologize, but yeah, healthy living, healthy eating. You can just keep going, guys. You can still make it happen. Family plan. I was watching today's video in the car. Let me say, congrats for making near perfect OSHA safety video. That's my objective up here, family plan. Every time I do anything, I think about safety first, okay? As a matter of fact, I don't always show you guys, but most of the time when I head out of the door here, I wear a helmet. And very often, if I'm within like a mile of any body of water, I wear a life jacket, guys, just because of safety. So most of the time, I'm either in a helmet or wearing a life vest, even out here because I'm very close to the water. So safety first, guys. You know what I mean. Yeah. Okay. Stephen, yes, he cut logs at age 49, returned a year later to start the whole life. Yeah, amazing, guys, amazing. You know, this. There's so much I can cover in this, but I think as men, we have something deep within that connects with a sense of freedom or a need or hunger to be free. I'm sure there are women too that may have the same sense. But what a life in the mountains or building a cabin really calls to is that sense of freedom and being an individual who has control over their own lives. Because, you know, as modern man, there's a lot of the control has been taken away. So I think most men, healthy men, appreciate that type of life because it appeals to their sense of freedom, their hunger for being a free man. Less is more also comes into play. You know, a life that's more simple, because we're quite frankly, modern man is overwhelmed with input. I mean, it doesn't matter what you do nowadays. It's a little different for me up here, but for most people living in a town or a city, you're just bombarded all the time with information. Unfortunately, phones have done that too now. 24/7 all the time. But there's just too much information, guys, coming at you all the time. And I think we're seeing the results of, we see how people behave and the things that are happening out in public right now. This is because of, a couple generations of just being bombarded with too much information, too much imagery, too much sound. And so when you watch somebody like Dick or any man who goes out, or couple or woman goes out into the woods and lives a life more, I don't want to say free anymore. There's a better word for this. Lives a life that's a little more honest and genuine and simple. I think that appeals to many of us, because of the life that most of us do live is actually very unnatural. Very unnatural. I'm going off on a tangent. Apologies. Hopefully that makes sense. How did I even get into that? Family plan, man. You got me going there. Congrats on making the near perfect OSHA safety video. Yeah, Natal. No, you didn't miss anything. It's been very boring. Very boring. What have you been busy doing? Stephen, yes, he cut the logs. Okay, I'm going backwards now. Family plan. Dick Pronica is a legend. Yes, people from previous generations seem to look older at whatever age they were captured on film. People from previous generations seem to look older at whatever age they were captured on film. Yeah, I got you. I mean, there's a lot going on nowadays that when you live a very cushy life, with no daily physical exertion in your days, you could probably look younger for longer. I think when you live, there's a lot to be said about living a hard life. Does show. By hard life, I mean, well, hard life. There's several ways one can live a hard life, but physically, when you lead a hard life, there are benefits to it, but I think the hard life does show. Stephen, YouTube has some rarer ones, and they're free. Yeah, Stephen. As somebody who is on YouTube, I don't do a lot of viewing of YouTube. I don't actually. There's a couple people that are subscribed to my channel that have YouTube channels. I'll pop in and visit their stuff, but I don't watch YouTube anymore like maybe I used to 20 years ago, 25 years ago. A lot of the stuff I watch is on other platforms, so I'm not sure what's on YouTube nowadays. There's so much garbage, guys. When I started doing this, there were very few people doing an off-grid anything, but since people learned that they can make money and it's possible, there's like everybody and their grandmother is on YouTube now with a channel. Every young couple who moves off-grid or a tiny home, does YouTube videos. It's just there's so much content out there now, and the real golden stuff, the stuff that had good patina, is less and less. There's just a lot of fake plastic stuff on YouTube now, even in this type of genre. So I actually purposely I made a decision a long time ago not to watch or follow anything similar, because I didn't want to change what I'm doing here or start thinking about I need to make more money, I need to use this keyword, I need to do videos about this because that seems really popular. I don't want to think like that about what I do here. I'd rather just be myself, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and the embarrassing. I do need to reel in. I definitely don't want to do any embarrassing things. I do need to be cautious about that. Yeah. Anyways, I digress again. Once again, I digress. Stephen, I do some of the stuff I do watch. The odd occasion that I watch something, a documentary on YouTube, I'm really into the Mongolia reindeer herders. I do watch some stuff, some Russian stuff that's translated into English or has subtitles. Even some of the stuff in the Caucasus, the Russian Caucasus, Georgian Caucasus. Even today, people that are living in, the 2020s, 2025, but still living very simple lives, still baking in brick ovens, living simple lives. That's still taking place. Not so much in America here. When it happens in America and it's on YouTube, it tends to be like fine-tuned for the algorithm and for making money. So that's why I find myself watching a lot of foreign stuff as far as, rural or wild living. I'm just finding that's a little more interesting nowadays. Right. Mr. Artifit, I heard that a man can live longer by having more dreams to accomplish in life, big or small. I heard that a man can live longer by having more dreams to accomplish in life. I think the key ingredient there, Mr. Artifit, is, are you accomplishing them? I think, I could dream all day long, guys. I could. I've got all kinds of dreams. Actually, I don't have a lot of dreams. I feel like for the most part, I'm very content with how I live. Yes, it can be challenging and a struggle at times. The struggle is real, but I don't have a lot of dreams that I sort of focus on regularly that need to be achieved. I think there's a danger in having too many dreams, so many that you don't get any accomplished. I would sort of lean into more like a man can live longer when he accomplishes, the things he's dreaming about. Sorry, did I just spoil that one for you? But yeah, I can accept some of that. Natal, I had to make some fresh coffee for my husband. Wow, lucky guy. That's nice. Lucky husband. I make my own coffee. I'm sure your coffee's lovely, Natal. Anyways, Whispering Vine Studio, good night, everyone. It has been an interesting stream tonight. Hey, Whispering Vines, thanks for swinging by. I appreciate you coming by. Thank you. You have a good Sunday evening and a good week. Mr. Artiford, WVS 90 night. Okay, Ronnie Lynn, just be you. Hey, Ronnie Lynn, welcome. Ronnie Lynn is in the house. Good to see you again. For those of you that don't know, Ronnie Lynn, I think, has a YouTube channel. You should go over and see what Ronnie Lynn is up to. Definitely subscribe to her channel, guys and girls, for some good edifying, family-friendly thoughts and content. Good to see you, Ronnie Lynn. Mr. Gas, are you planning on going to town this week? Am I planning on going to town this week? Yes. I am planning on going to town, Mr. Gas. Probably, I don't know, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. You just reminded me something, Mr. Gas. Bear with me, guys. I know this is so rude of me right now. So rude of me. I know. Anticipation. Thank you for reminding me about going to town, Mr. Gas, because I forgot something over here. That's very important. And then I'll answer your question. Okay, guys, in the chat right now, I'm dropping a link. If anybody... I'm gonna tie this in, Mr. Gas. If anybody is in a position to support the channel and support what I'm doing here, and by supporting the channel, you kind of putting food on my plate. If anybody can, you can use that link to donate to the channel, to me. So consider supporting me, guys. So getting back to your question there, Mr. Gas, it all depends on whether there's funds or a good reason for me to go into town. It's usually male and dog food and chicken food, but let's just say things are a little bit lean right now, so that's why I paused when I saw your question there. It really depends on funds, whether I go to town or whether going to town is worth it. So thanks. That was a segue. I think they might call that a segue or something there, Mr. Gas. So yeah, if anybody can, please support the channel if you have enjoyed anything I'm doing here. Then I can go to town and get some groceries and maybe some corn for the birds. Okay, where were we? Hopefully that answered your question, Mr. Gas. Angel Does It. Thanks for the content tonight. Thank you, Angel. I think I finally got your name right now. Angel Does It Senior. Angel Does It Senior. Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Hopefully we'll see you again. Like I said, I haven't seen your name before, but I appreciate you hanging out. Sometimes we can go a little too long here, but, you know, when it starts to slow, I'll reel it in. We might be getting close, though. But you have a good one, Angel Does It. Mr. Artiford, my dreams are crushed. Sorry, man. That's what I do. I crush dreams, guys. I crush dreams. That's really why I put these videos out, so you can see what I'm doing here and think, there's no way that I'm going to go live out in the boonies with less, with very little, because I'm watching this guy and he's absolutely crushed my dreams. It looks that difficult. That's my objective out here, guys. Giving you a dose of reality. I'm just kidding. I know you're a solid individual, Mr. Artiford, with, you can handle it. You can handle it. Family plan. Hello, Ronnie. Our friend OGW lost his phone and all of his contacts in the phone and will need his friends to reach out and remind him what their phone number is. That's true, guys. That's true. I have 0 contact numbers. Actually, I do have some on my tablet because I can get my VoIP. I operate on a VoIP number, not a cellular company provided number. So I have a voice over IP number, and fortunately, I do have access to that on my tablet. So there is that. So if you were one of the few that had the special number, only the VIP people in my life get, then I have your number. Ronnie Lynn, well, thank you. And he has my number that happened to me too. Okay. Family Plan, I don't think he has mine yet. All right, guys. Seems like is it getting dark in here again? It's looking a little bit fuzzy. Should I open the window? Open the pumpkin window? I see the dogs are lining up outside here, guys. Like, oh, that window didn't work very well. We'll have to stay in darkness. So my curtains are just pieces of fabric that I punched holes through, and then I have a little suction cup holding the fabric up stuck to the window. I know it's not very impressive, ladies. I mean, clearly I'm not going to impress any ladies when they come up here and take a look at my window dressings. Okay, we have more light now. With my pumpkin tarp outside, shedding very bright and happy light that's coming in now. Mr. Gasgas, you have a reason to go to town now. Wow, that sounds awesome, Mr. Gasgas. Just bear with me. I gotta let Doggo in. He saw me open the window, and now he wants in on the action. Okay, buddy. You know the routine. Guys, I was actually eating. Look at these delicious huckleberries. Guys, that is like an explosion of flavor. Just one tiny little huckleberry. I need to put them back in the fridge. I was eating huckleberries before the stream, as I was setting up for the stream and shoving huckleberries down my mouth, and I realized that I was going to get purple lips and tongue, and so I stopped eating the huckleberries and brushed my teeth before the stream. I know that's a lot of information, guys. I didn't want to have purple mouth. I didn't want you guys thinking maybe I'm, smoking crack up here or had meth lips or something like that. Are you comfy? Mr. Ranger has just rolled into the house. There he is. Hey, buddy. You good? Everything good? You need food? You need food? Are you hungry? Okay. Ooh. I think I got purple lips again now after just a few huckleberries. Okay, where are we? We're good. Alright. I digress, gentlemen. Where were we? Oh, you have a reason to go to town now. That's awesome. Unfortunately, I don't have access. I don't have my PayPal app on the tablet either now. It was on my phone. That is probably just somewhere out in the woods. There's a lonely, old, out-of-date Android smartphone that's like 7 years old. It's all lonely now, living out in the woods, but close to huckleberries, so it should be happy. Okay, where was I? Yeah, thank you, Mr. Gas. I appreciate that. You have no idea. I was very lucky last week. Someone was able to donate, and that got me into town. I got 5 gallons of gas and 3 bags of groceries. And so, yeah, this week it's, let's just say it's lean. It's very lean, gentlemen. So we'll go into town if groceries can be purchased. Then I can check mail at the same time. Okay. Family plan. Wait, did I miss anything? What is that clown contraption outside the window a kid's playground set from McDonald's? Oh man, guys, I should have. See, this is the problem with doing things live and on stream. I'm so glad I didn't have like laundry or underwear hanging up outside there. That is you know what, Mr. Family Plan? I'm just assuming you're a Mr. Family Plan. You are definitely a noticer. I've noticed that about you, Family Plan. You are definitely a noticer. That out there, folks, is a hammock. Okay? It's way better than going to McDonald's. Not only is it just better for you in general than going to McDonald's, but that's really is a happy place, right? When you lay down in that hammock, you'll be quite happy. Now, on a serious note, that is a hammock, and sometimes I'll open it up and I'll hang right in between the post here on the deck, a few inches above the deck, and just hang there and hang out with my dogs in the hammock. So that's what it is. True story. It is the real happy place, not the McDonald's happy place. It's the hammock happy place. Ronnie Lynn, I have a question. Then we got that. Ronnie Lynn, my chickens don't want to eat chicken food. I give them leftovers, but haven't found a chicken food they like. Well, Ronnie Lynn, clearly I'm not a chicken expert since my chickens don't even lay eggs anymore. I would say food scraps are probably better than store-bought chicken food. There's obviously, I don't know, are your chickens hens? Are they laying? Are they young? Are they chicks? Chicken food is great. Leftover leftover kitchen scraps are great. That's awesome that you can actually feed your chickens just with that. I wish I could, but there's obviously things you want in your food that are good for if you got laying hens. There's obviously things and nutrients that a hen will need, so that may not be in your food scraps. So I may look into that, but I don't know. It depends. Are they laying? Are they layers? Are they males? Are they young? You spoiled them, Ronnie. Now they will only eat from your plate. It's true. Mr. Hardyford. So now you have a lean-to. You have lots of totes to move up the mountain. Yeah, I do, guys. Some of you know I have a bunch of totes down at the bottom of the valley that have been languishing. Needing a place, needing a home. So that's the next step up here, is to move some of that. It's not the next step. It's one of the many steps. The next step, guys, is really firewood. The next week, couple weeks, 3 weeks, I need to get into like firewood boogie mode. It's no joke. I need to have firewood being dropped, cut, split, hauled, packed. That's the priority now, and everything else is secondary off that. Natsal, I want some huckleberry. Well, another week and there's only going to be some very sad huckleberries around here. Ronnie Lynn, I want huckleberries too. Well, Ronnie Lynn, if you play your cards right, these might be available for a couple days. Actually, yeah, a couple days maximum. All right, just kidding. Natal, the bear will pick up and call you. Copy. Stephen, do you still have the scribe, saws, and other tools from your cabin build, or did you maybe have to sell them? Stephen, that's a great question. Where are we here? Yeah, Stephen, I still have everything except my big boy chainsaw. I had the, what was the 661 or 600i You know, the big boy. It was a $1,500 chainsaw. You need a big chainsaw, guys, if you're going to be fiddling with logs and building log cabins. You need something with a little horsepower. I wouldn't, if you're going to be using a chainsaw for, let's say, milling logs, I wouldn't go smaller. Anything small, I wouldn't go smaller than a 500i or whatever the 500 series is now. Maybe you can get away with a 400, one of the bigger 400 series of steel. Sorry, I can't help you guys with Husqvarnas. I don't really like toy chainsaws. I'm like a real man chainsaw, so it's got to be a steel. Don't clip that. I know I'll get a lot of hate because of what I just said. No, I'm just kidding, guys. I don't care what chainsaw you use, but I don't have a lot of experience with Husqvarna. But if you playing with big logs and you need a real workhorse of a chainsaw, if you're making lumber, you want to be in the late 400 series, ideally 500 and up. So anyways, getting back to your question there, Stephen, I did sell the 600. I think I sold it for, $1,000. But everything else I still have. Hang on, where is my scribe? I know it's probably in a tote somewhere. I don't know where my scribe is. I feel like I've seen it in recent years, but yeah, tools are the most important thing, guys. Here's a big tip, and we've talked about this before. If you guys are someday or dreaming of someday buying a piece of property and going out, getting some rural property and living a life, more of an intentional, real life, if that's your dream and you're working towards it, I've been asked over the years, what can I kind of do now? I can't afford the property, it's still far away, or I feel like I can never get there, or it'll never happen. Here's a little tip. Start investing, and I use, I'm very particular about when I use the term investing, right? I hear people use the word, I'm gonna buy a new car. I'm gonna invest in a new car. Guys, buying a new car is not an investment. The second you get in there and drive it off the lot, it's lost value. That's not an investment, okay? I digress. Stephen, the most important thing you can do now, if you're not there yet, is buy tools, good tools. I'm a bit of a cheapo, mainly because I'm a poor man nowadays. And so I don't like spending money. I can't spend a lot of money. But when it comes to tools, I would rather save and buy a good tool and have that and put it away. So that's something you guys can do out there is when I say buy tools, I'm not necessarily talking about things like chainsaws, but a shovel, a pickaxe, a crowbar, all these things that are going to come into use when you one day move out to your dream rural plot of land. So you're going to get there with your trailer and all your tools that you've slowly, don't go out and buy all of them in a weekend. Over months and years, every few months, invest in a good tool that you can use to build with, create with, move rocks with. Those are good investments. So that way, when you do get to the point of being ready, your biggest investment being buying the land or those big purchases, at that point you've got everything else, or most of what you need to roll. You have that in place. That's a great step you can do now incrementally as you work towards that goal of becoming a free man. Wow, went off on a tangent there again. Hopefully that answered your question and some more. Mr. Gasgas, you have shown us of you doing laundry and hanging it on the line. Oh, did I miss something over there? Did I miss something about laundry before? You have shown us of you doing laundry and hanging it on the line. Yeah, well, guys, real men do their laundry by hand. Actually, I only do it that way because I don't have a laundry machine. I used to for quite a while when I moved here and when I was gainfully employed, I used to take my laundry to a laundromat and just drop it off and then pick it up at the end of the day. But those days are long gone, gentlemen. Yeah. Talking about laundry, I do need to do a load of laundry. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I am recycling clothes. When I'm editing video, I'll notice these things like, man, that's day 3 of me wearing those pants. I wonder if anybody else notices that. You guys don't notice that sort of stuff, right? Right? I mean, right? Okay. Ronnie Lynn, they just leave the chicken food, but I want to have but I want to leave for a few days. Ronnie Lynn, here's what's going to happen. If you have chicken food in a chicken feeder, you know, that can give them like multiple days, when you leave and they get hungry, guess what? They're going to eat whatever's there. That's how humans work too. I can attest to this, guys. As somebody who would never touch 2-minute noodles or I won't go down this tunnel. There's a lot of things that I eat now because they're all I can afford. But I do miss the days of like tomahawk steaks. I don't know if you guys have ever seen a tomahawk steak. It's massive and it's thick. Anyways, I digress, gentlemen. But yeah, Ronnie Lynn, your chickens, when they get hungry, are going to eat whatever you have left out for them. I guarantee you. I guarantee your chickens will not starve themselves if there's edible food for them. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Kevin, another good stream tonight. Thanks, OGW. I'm about to sign off. Got a few things to do before taking a nap in this 100 degrees heat. Be safe, and we'll see you next week. Good night, everyone. Kevin, thank you, mate. You are a stalwart of the stream. Thank you. It's good to see you. It's always good to see you, man. And yeah, I know napping in 100 degrees is that can be rough. I get it. Well, you like outdoors or camping or something? You don't have air conditioner in your house? Yeah, no, Kevin, you have a good one, mate. Mr. Gas, Steel 660 is about 92 cc. There you go. Guys, yeah, I'm not kidding. I know those chainsaws are expensive, but if you think you're going to go out and mill lumber for a build, you're going to need a 500 and up. If you have dreams of running an Alaskan chainsaw mill and cutting lumber and making lumber, you're going to need something that's got some staying power. Now, you may ask, how do I know this? Trust me, I know this. I burned 2 chainsaws trying to mill lumber over the years with undersized chainsaws. The first one I killed in like, I don't know, within 3 weeks of buying it brand new. That was, I think, I think it was a 311 Farm Boss, steel Farm Boss. I attempted to mill logs with that, and I promptly killed it. I scored the cylinder like that. So I have a little bit of experience. I run mostly Huskies, but I have a steel saw too. Yeah, I mean, Huskies are great, guys. If I grew up on Huskies and Huskies were available, or the first chainsaw that I bought, there's nothing wrong with a Husky. Just for the record, okay, I don't want anybody to email me or report me to the Swedish Husky police. Huskies, great saws. I just prefer a steel just because that's what I've always used. I will say, though, that the Huskies that I have used, the only thing that I notice about Huskies, and maybe it's because I'm a little effeminate and don't have a lot of strength in my hands or arms, but they tend to rattle. By rattle, I mean they're a little more, they're a little more husky. They've got a little more vibration. I think the steels are a little smoother in run and how that translates into handle and operation. Just a little smoother running, smoother, more gentle for the feminine men, you know, with the weak hands and very little muscle mass. I'm being silly, guys. Yeah, sometimes people don't understand my humor, but I think mostly you guys get it. Stevens Victon still are really good. Even this last 15 years generation versions. Hang the scribe behind you there. Yeah, that would be a good spot. Actually, guys, I think I've mentioned this in streams before, guys and gals. If anybody wants to send me a card, a letter, I'm not going to hang letters up there, but if you want to send me a card or a picture, I've said this before, maybe a photograph of you back in the day, like ramping your BMX, or I don't know, doing something amazing, you know, the type of stuff we used to do. Send me a picture, and I'm going to hang it up here, guys. This is going to be the wall of subscriber, you know, appreciation. So my address is in the description to all my videos. The description of the stream, you'll find my mailing address, my PO box. So send me a card, send me a picture. We'll put it up on the wall. Good idea, though, Stephen. Jordan, I've bought very few new tools in my life. Mostly got them at yard sales and auctions. Yeah, Jordan, I love yard sales. I very seldom buy anything, but I do like going to yard sales and just kind of perusing. One could find deals. I think I have picked up some cast iron. There's a few things I always look at yard sales. I'm always looking for cast iron, obviously tools, but old antique or classic cast iron pans, guys. That's another thing. You know, good cookware, outdoor cookware is, you know, lasts forever. But what else do I look for? I know this is kind of a personal thing, but I do have a record player, an old school record player. So I've always got one eye looking for record players and draw knives, old classic draw knives for log peeling. A few items I'm always looking for. I'll let the dog out. Okay. Yeah, I mean, new tools, especially good tools, can be expensive. So, you know, I've no problem. It's a great idea looking for tools at auctions. And quite frankly, I would say stay away from, you know, cheap shovels and cheap pickaxes. You know, those gardening tools that are like the cheapest. This has been my experience with gardening tools. Things like rakes, you know, the lightweight gardening tools. Don't buy the cheapest because they will break. When you get out here, anything outside of your urban residential garden, if you're going to be actually developing land and really working those kind of tools, you want either super old school or you want a moderate to expensive shovel or rake and so on, because the cheap tools nowadays, the plastic handle cheap tools, don't hold up in this kind of environment. Don't waste your money. I've tried it. I have several handles and bent pieces of metal around here that's cheap tools. Jordan, okay, got there, Mr. Artiford. When I was selling and downsizing before moving, tools was the one thing I wouldn't sell. Definite keepers, even if I only needed once. Yeah, tools, guys. Tools are... every good man needs a good tool chest. Okay, Ronnie Lynn, wooden spoons. Yeah, wooden spoons. Where's my wooden spoon? I very seldom use it, but let me show you my pride and joy. Talking about antique stores and yard sales. Hopefully it's clean. Look at this classic spatula, gentlemen. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Witness its beauty. Wooden handle. Stainless steel. Classic. Look at that. That's what you want to use in, you know, cast iron pans. So I don't need to tell you guys, like, you don't never use soap in your cast iron pans, but by cleaning and scraping your cast iron pans like this with a good flexible spatula, over the years you create the perfect surface on a cast iron pan by using a metal old school spatula. It can be difficult finding a metal spatula nowadays. You go to the grocery store or somewhere, unless it's a kitchen specialty store, all you find is this like plastic silicone garbage. Metal spatula. I bought this in an antique store in North Idaho. Actually, Bonners Ferry. There's a great antique store there, secondhand antique store, and so I love this thing. I know I'm kind of geeking out over a classic spatula here, boys, but it's even got the old red paint on it over here. Classic. Anyways, I better let the dog in. Come on. Somebody's probably going to tell me, oh yeah, I know that spatula. It was like in the Sears catalog, 1972. They made millions of them. Anyways. Family plan, did you break that rake I gave you already? No, that rake I fixed. I fixed that rake, by the way. That's almost a rake. I have a light leaf rake that was, well, given to me secondhand. It needed some work, which I gave it, and I use that rake almost daily. I have a lot of stones. I'm often barefoot. I don't know if you guys notice, but I do walk around here barefoot, and I have a lot of stones that pop up and are dug up by these dogs. So I now finally have a rake, a nice leaf rake, which I can just rake up these little rocks and pebbles everywhere without digging up the dirt. Again, we're covering all sorts of topics, guys. What have we done here? We've gone full gamut here. We've gone spatulas, a relationship advice, dietary concerns, old age. Wait, hang on. We want to avoid those topics, guys. Dietary and old age. How to kill a stream. Stephen, buy them and learn how to sharpen and hone them. Oh yeah, guys, sharpening your own tools, vital skill when you're out in the boonies. There's nobody you take your stuff to sharpen. You do it yourself. Another vital tool is auto mechanics, which is a weak spot of mine. Auto mechanics and electrical. I'm fine with DC basics, but if time well spent would be learning auto mechanics and electrical. Don't be like me. Whole corn, good night. Okay, Stephen, good having you, man. I appreciate you, sir, and good tips there. So hopefully we'll see you next time. You have a good week, sir. Family plan, good night. You got that, Ronnie Lynn? That's the best spatula. It is, Ronnie. It is. It's the best spatula I've ever had. eBay can have those vintage tools and cookware. Just need some dollars. Yeah, those dollars, guys. That's the other thing. Figure out how you're going to have dollars when you retire or move out into the boonies. Don't do like me. Okay, Stephen, thanks, family plan. You got that, Ronnie Lynn. I read somewhere that the new plastic black spatulas are made from old melted TVs. Yikes. Well, I'm not surprised. It's called recycling, right? I mean, that in itself is an industry. Taking the garbage we throw out, recycling it, and the next thing you know, you're eating it. Good times. Okay, well, guys, it's been a good one. I think we're going to start winding the stream down. Oh, lordy. That's the disadvantage of starting to go blind and wearing glasses, is when you take them off, you're even more blind. Yeah, so I don't know, unless somebody's got some good questions or some more stuff you want to chat about, I can do a few more minutes. I think we've been going for how long? It is 8:30, so 2.5 hours. That seems to be our thing, like 2.5 hours to 3 hours. 3 hours streams seem to be common. if you had told me in the beginning of this that I'd be doing 3-hour streams, I would have said probably not. No, I was imagining maybe an hour maximum. Tomahawk, good show tonight. Have a good night, OGW, Scout and Ranger. Tomahawk, mate, I was wondering where you were. Did I miss you early on, or have you been quiet? Good to see you, Tomahawk. Thanks for swinging by, mate. Yeah, okay, I feel better now that I know you popped in. Awesome. Yeah, well, thank you, Tomahawk, and you have a good week. Me and the boys will have a good week. God willing, we will have a good week. It's not in my hands. Thank you. Natal, good stream, OGW. We had fun. Thank you, Natal. Appreciate you hanging out. I'm jealous. Your husband gets to have delicious coffee, and all I have here is my survival coffee. Oh, okay. Thank you, Natal. You guys have a good one. Mr. Artiford, nighty night, kids. It's been fun. OGW, take care. Mr. Artiford, thank you. You had some good tips, some sound advice tonight. Thank you. It was good having you on the stream. You take it easy. Ronnie Lynn, good night, y'all. Ronnie Lynn, nice to see you. You have a good week. Have a good, solid, positive week. All right, Mr. Gas, I hope you can find your phone when you go back looking. Yeah, Mr. Gas, I think I'm going to hit it one more time. Sometime this week I'll go up. I did mark the area out and leave some. I'm not going to forget because I walked it like 12 times. But I did put some marks out so I can definitely get there again. And I'm going to try one more time. You never know. Okay, Natal, nice to see you. Family plan. Good one. Okay, guys. I think on that note, we're all winding down. I see there's been a few lurkers in the background that haven't partaken in the joy. Guys, it's very difficult for me to talk for 3 hours. I know you're not going to believe me, but without chat, there's no ways I'm talking for 3 hours. So I really depend on you. Maybe next time the lurkers sitting on the fringes of society can chat. And I can go even longer. That sounds terrible. I think 3 hours is it, guys. Mr. Gas, sorry that I missed the last 2 live streams. That's right, Mr. Gas. Don't let that happen again, all right? Jordian, gute Nacht. Stay safe. Jordian, mate, good to have you here again. I love that profile icon, mate. Ja, das ist gut. Gute Nacht. Auf Wiedersehen. Mr. Artiford, smash the like on your way out. Yeah, everybody listen to Mr. Artiford, okay? He's the most wise sage in chat, especially when it comes to hitting the like button. Hitting the like bottom. Okay, Natal, don't forget to hit the like bottom. Okay. It's exercise for your voice. Actually, the dogs do exercise my voice quite a lot, more so than I want them exercising. But it is late now, and I'm about an hour later on the dog food. I can see the paws out here waiting on the deck for his bowl of food. So thank you, guys. Mr. Gas, thank you again for your support tonight, man. Appreciate it. And I'll take a look at that once I log off here. So, okay, folks. Ranger and I think we're going to... Whoop, I don't want to unplug the camera. Ranger and I are going to punch out. Ranger says, cheers. Look at my fancy keyboard. Ranger. Oh, look at the dust. I don't know if you guys saw the plume of dust there, buddy. Yeah, I know. We're going to make dinner now, right? You'll get your bowl of food, and since you've been such a good boy today, I'm going to give you some wet food. And we've got like 4 cans of wet food left. Some folks were kind enough to help me out with some wet food. I know. See, Ranger knows. He's like, can we eat now? I know, buddy. Are you hungry? Are you hungry? There he is. Buddy, are you hungry? Okay. Okay, Ranger, we're getting out of here. All right, guys. Thank you, and gals. See you. Have a good week ahead. A good week ahead. May it be prosperous and eventful and good and wholesome. Okay, buddy. Okay. Cheers.